Hello my dear class 5 students. Today we are going to learn one lesson in English 1, lesson 6, and the title of the lesson is The Quest for Food. What is the title of the lesson? The Quest for the Food. Children, food. We all know that food is our essential need. Food is one of the essential needs. Without food we cannot survive. Without food we cannot sustain our life, right? So here in this story we will learn about Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe was going somewhere by ship, means he was on voyage means journey. What happens? All of a sudden there was a big storm and his ship was broken, it was sinking, and he was left in an isolated island. Isolated means alone island, where there was no one, where there was no habitation, means nobody was living there, okay, and no way out to go anywhere. So now he has to hunt for his food and he has to sustain his life. So now this story is in his own words. Let us read. Okay. On the quest for food. Warm up. Robinson Crusoe was shipwrecked on a deserted island. Shipwrecked means meaning is given here. You can see, to suffer the destruction of a ship at sea by sinking or by breaking up. So his ship was broken up. Okay. So Robinson Crusoe was shipwrecked on a deserted island. Desert we know, full of sand, where nothing can grow. To make it his home and to survive on this dangerous island, he learned to hunt and build a shelter. Now he has to build a shelter and he has to hunt for food. Okay. So that's why the quest for food. Quest means difficult and tiring search. Okay, searching in a difficult way, right? Let's start. The need for meat kept me going. Now he himself is saying, Robinson Crusoe is saying, the need for the meat, he wanted to have meat. So for that meat he has to hunt, he has to keep on going, alright? I tried to keep a dog but he was no good. So he wanted to keep a dog to help him to hunt, to help him in hunting, but the dog was not good. Dog was afraid of goats and all the time running back to him. Goats of my island were very hard. So children, this is W-E-R-E. We don't say where, okay? This is war. Alright. Can you see? Okay. Another one is W-H-E-R-E. This is where. This is where and this is war. Okay. The goats of my sheep were very hard to kill, and it was not easy to kill goats of that particular island where Robinson Crusoe got stuck. Okay, was there, left there alone. Alright. I finally caught a little one, and as time went by, I got a mate for my cook. So finally, after a long struggle, he could cut one small one, a baby, and after some time, what happened? He got a mate, means a friend. Okay, another one. Then he had more goats. Okay. It was not long before 2 or 3 years that I had many. So within 2-3 years, he had many goats. Okay, many goats. At last, I had enough to get goat's milk to drink, and I could kill one for meat whenever I needed to do. Now he has plenty, he has many goats, so he can drink goat's milk. Okay, and if he wanted to kill one for meat, he can do because he has many. So it happened within 2-3 years. What I needed most was something to replace the bread and flour. My reserves on the ship were fast depleting and I needed cereals to sustain. Now another problem was his supplies, whatever food he has preserved, that was depleting, means finishing very quickly, okay? And he wanted to have something in place of that, okay? Because whatever reserve he had, that was depleting. Depleting means finishing. So he needs something to sustain, to support his life. I made a big dry cave my home on the island. Now he cannot construct a house there, he cannot construct a building. So what did he do? He made a big and dry you understand, no shukha, dry cave. Cave you understand? Ura. Cave my home. He made that big and dry cave his home on the island. It was very dark and dingy, but that cave was very dark and dingy. Okay, it was not. It is not like a house or room. No, it was a natural cave, so it was dark and dingy also. And the fact that I had no candles did not help either. And he had no candles. He had no table lamp. He had no torchlight. Nothing. Okay. Alright, everything was gone with the ship there. Okay, so he did not have light, and the cave was dark and dingy. So that was another problem. I used the fat from the goats and dipped whatever cloth I could find. Then what did he do? He dipped piece of cloth. Okay, not clothes, cloth. CLOTS. This is cloth. Okay. So what did he do? He dipped a piece of cloth in goat's fat from goat. Fat, you understand? No? Bosu. So he dipped there and he made something which can give light for him. Okay. Whatever cloth I could find, setting this fat in soaked cloth on fire served the purpose of candle. So it became like candle. It could give now light. Okay, so he made himself with the help of piece of cloth and fat from goat. Okay, so that problem is also solved. As I hunted for pieces of cloth, I came upon a bag in which we had kept grain on board the ship. So when he was looking for a piece of cloth, he was searching for a piece of cloth, he got his bag which he had carried when he was on voyage, when he was going another place. Okay, he got that particular bag when he was searching for piece of cloth, okay, to dip in the goat's fat. Okay, then what happens? It was just the kind I needed. So like that only he was looking for a piece of cloth. I took it out and dusted it outside the door of my cave. Now what did he do? He took out his bag and he just came out of the cave and just he dusted. Dusted, you understand? No? Dusted his bag. We also do it like that only when we take out something after a long time. First we dust and we keep in the sun. Yes or no? So he just dusted his bag outside his cave. I thought no more about it until one day I saw some little plants growing beside the entrance of my cave. So after some time, he was not saying anything, but after some time, one day what happened, he saw some plants growing in front of his cave, near his entrance, where he has dusted his bag. Okay, so some plants were growing. I took a close look and realized that they were corn plants. Then he just went there and looked from the close. Okay, he looked closely. Then he realized, he understood that that plant was corn plant. Okay, corn, we don't know, corn plants were there. It was growing. There were some barley and rice as well. Not only corn, there was some barley growing and what was there? Rice was also growing. Alright. A few seeds must have been left at the bottom of that bag and fallen in just the right place to grow. Now he is thinking how it is going there. Few seeds must have left in the bottom of the bag which he just had dusted outside. So some seeds must have left on the bottom of the bag, and when I was dusting it must have fallen there and now it is growing. Okay? He realized, he understood that way. I had to look after these plants, saving every bit of grain from the birds. Now he started looking after their plants, okay, and saving these plants from birds. Otherwise, birds will eat, no? Birds will spoil. So he was looking after the plants. Did you understand? Okay. See how he is solving his problem one after the other. So he was alone in isolated island. Isolated means alone island, uninhabited. Okay, people were not living there. No one was there. Okay, no houses, nothing there. Isolated means alone. There also he is struggling, hunting, and solving problem one after the other, and he himself telling the story in his own words. It took me 4 years before I had raised enough grains to eat. So in 4 years, he made enough grains, food grains. Now he has no problem. It took 4 years, now he has more, means enough grain, food grains. I had first landed near a small stream. First he had landed, he has just reached near a small stream, means kolsa, stream. As I walked up the stream, okay, when he was walking just up, I found vast green field of grass and sugar cane. When he was walking just above, going up, he saw a vast field of sugar cane and grass. Sugar cane, you understand, no? Sugar cane and grass he found there. Further off, he went little off that side, okay, further, moved ahead. What happened? I found some melons on the ground. He found some melons also on the ground, and grapes vines growing up the trees. Grapes vine also he found there. Grapes vines were growing on the trees. All heavily laden with the bunches of grapes. So these all were loaded with the fruits, bunches of grapes, full of fruits there. Okay. I recall the grapes could be dried and preserved as resin. Okay. RAISINS, resins. We say RAYZIN. Okay. REISIN. We say resin. Resin means dried fruit, dried grapes. In Nepali we call it kismis. Kismis, you know, no? Okay. So RAISINS. How do you say? Resins. Okay. So he thought of making resin, drying the grapes and making resins. With this thought in mind, I picked the biggest bunches I could find and tied them to the branches of the trees to be sun dried. Then he collected some big vertical bunches and he tied on the trees to be dried by sun. Okay. I dried more than 200 big bunches this way. So how many he dried? More than 200 bunches. Jupa. Bunch means jupa. Okay. He dried in this way. Each night when I went back to the cave, I would carry many limes in the bags made of sailcloth. So when he goes back to his cave, his home, home in the isolated island, what he used to do, he used to carry many limes. Limes means kagati, nimbu, okay, carry in his bags made of sailcloth. It was a long, dreary walk with the weight of limes pulling me down. So it was heavy load, but still he used to carry. He carried. But survival was the only thing on my mind. It was very heavy, though he was carrying, because he was thinking only He has to survive, he has to sustain his life. To sustain his life, to survive, he has to do this difficult thing, difficult work also, and he did. One day I found my grapes well dried. So one day what happened? When he went there, he found his grapes nicely dried. Majjale sukeko. Okay? Nicely dried, well dried. I carried them to my cave, then he brought all to his cave, his home. It was a good decision, for the next day a big storm came up. That day he brought all to his cave, and it was good decision because the following day, the next day, there was a big storm. Okay, rainfall. Okay, storm was there. So he brought those things on time, correct time. Okay, it was a good decision. The winds blew very hard, and my reasons and efforts would have all been lost. So wind was blowing very hardly. Okay, wind blew very hard. Okay, children. Now this is BLEW. Please don't say blew. Okay, this is blew. The winds blew very hard, and my reasons and efforts would have all been lost. The Kilihi brought all to his cave before a storm came. Okay, and it was good decision. I kept the raisins, lime, and meat at the back part of the cave. What did he do? He kept all the things like raisins, meat, lime, all the back side of the cave. This was the coolest area and the best place to store supplies. Why he kept at the back side? Because that was the coolest place. Okay, and best place to store supplies. Nice place to keep the things. I sat at my table and read the Bible by the light I had made. And when he saw everything, now he has everything. Now he sat at the table and started reading Bible by the light he had made. Okay, so this is the story of Robinson Crusoe in his own words. Hope you understood. So please open your book and read this story once or twice. Okay, then it will be clear to you.